Competitive bodybuilding is a sport that takes extreme dedication. We are going to take you through the lives of these athletes, intense workouts, dietary struggles, and lifestyle commitment. Experience the challenges they face with their family, coaches, and work. This is Angles Health and Fitness TV.
This week on Angles, you will meet Karen Reinman, and we will get an update from Steve Fiore as they get ready for the Felicia Romero Classic.
We are very happy to have Premier Videos that shoots all the shows for the NPC Miles Production events, and they are the best. And they also provide me with another service of interviewing the overalls at the shows. They're interesting. A lot of them are very interesting to hear the backgrounds. We have doctors and lawyers, professional people. We have students, some professional students, but we have people from all walks of life. And it's very, very interesting. We have house moms. We have working professional moms. We have husbands and fathers, and it is really, really cool. That whole stereotype of the, we'll talk about stereotype. How about the 23-year-old guy with a cut-off neck around his shirt, then cut-off sleeves, carrying his gallon jug of water, walks to the gym, zits over his back. He's ticked everybody off because he's made no friends at all, and because he's such a jerk when he dies down for the show. And he walks in the gym and goes, "Hey, I pick things up, I set things down." You know, the stereotype. We don't have that anymore. It's pretty much gone.
Hi, my name is Karen Reinman, and it was my first show. I'm 45 years old. I actually saw a good friend of mine that competed in a March show, and after seeing it, it gave me inspiration. I decided I'm going to go ahead and just try this out. You know, I've always been into the fitness part of it. I love to hike. I hike Camelback like 3 times a week. Love yoga. I do Bikram hot yoga. Back in the early days, way back when Step Aerobics first came out, we were doing that, and we were, of course, doing it to the 80s rock music back then. And they didn't even have real steps. It was like a wooden step that they built. So always been into it, never as much as I am now, but it's definitely a way better way of life. I was what you call, I was a binge drinker. So that's why I never thought I had a problem. So I would, go out on a Friday night, tear it up, and then feel horrible the whole weekend and the whole next week, then go do it the next weekend. And it just didn't feel good anymore. And along with that, even though I was into fitness, that would completely ruin my fitness plans all weekend. I would smoke when I drank, so that wasn't good either. So this has given me, it's a whole new life to me to be in this whole community of people that are into fitness. A lot of them I found that I've become friends with. They live a healthy lifestyle. They don't drink, they don't smoke. We're eating good. We're just really taking care of ourselves, and it's better than anything I could ever have imagined. You know what I'm finding, because I feel like my fellow, we call them Ugnuts, so with Urban Garage Gym, we're just huge support of each other. We've become like a family of all of us, and we do these little, funny things back on Facebook. We'll put motivational things. We're always checking in on each other to see how we're doing, what suits we're gonna get, how we're feeling. I was just talking to Kelly and July this week, and they're telling me how they just feel grumpy and they feel like they're spaced out. And it's good to know going into this competition we're going into next Saturday of how everybody's feeling, because when you feel like shit, it's kind of a bad thing to say, but you feel good if someone else feels like shit with you sometimes. And it sounds funny, but it's just like you just have to share how you feel, because everybody's feeling it. If you don't share, how will you know? You'll think something's wrong with you, and there's not. Because it's hard. It's hard when you go low carb and you're so strict, and you may feel like you're the only one. Like I'm the only one in my office at work that's doing it, but I just got to keep my head straight.
Coming up, Steve Fiore is ready to go on stage. Find out what happens next.
kind of getting in the groove and understanding the process, understanding what the judges want, getting the posing down, getting the whole more of the look down, and understanding, picking the suit, looking for the color, matching your color versus your skin type versus your eyes, your hair. So I'm starting to dial it in. And beginning of October, the Europa came to town, and it was a pro show, and it was downtown Phoenix, and a bunch of friends, a bunch of people from the training facility all went down to see it. And I'm in the background watching all the professionals on stage, and they're walking through, and the top 5 are up there, and we're all looking. And, the guys are in shape and everything else, and a bunch of people from the crowd actually recognized me, and a couple fans, and a bunch of our teammates, and said, "Well, it's local. Why don't you do it? You're in great shape. Why don't you go do November, which is the Felicia Romero, and you could go compete and everything else, and get on stage, and you got this great body, and you can do it, blah, blah, blah." And I listened. So not only did I try to get back into shape in probably less than a month, I think it was maybe about a month. So I knew I had to hit it hard and hit it fast and get the diet dialed in and start lifting heavy and so on and so forth. And you can see by the prior filming, I had long hair probably down to about here. And that was kind of always my calling card. It was kind of, the over 40 with the long hair, kind of, the Fabio look I kind of got on the pro circuit, blah, blah, blah. The pretty boy, and, got all the names. Everybody kind of gets names when you're in the pro thing and everything. So I was told that if I really wanted to do better and compete, you should get more of a younger look. So maybe cutting the hair wouldn't be such a bad thing. So I'm sitting here weighing both options. Do I really want to go back that fast, go compete again, go get in shape, cut my hair, try to put, again, the best package forward in 30 days? But I did. So I decided to go do the Felicia Romero, started doing that, was going to get committed to cut my hair when I got close to it, put the best package, try to look the part, be the part, get on stage, and go head to head with the kids. I think I can't remember the exact dates, but I know I went about a week and a half before the show. I was going to get my hair cut. Training, I could tell something wasn't right. I was really tired. Body was aching a lot more. I knew I wanted a break. I knew I had to have a break, but like anything else in life, I had a week and a half left. So you just go through it. I've been through it a million times. I know what certain aches and pains feel. It's the one thing you learn when you go through this process on your body. But I knew something was going on, but I just wanted to get through it. So you put your blinders on and you go. I got my hair cut on a Tuesday. Got it all cut off, got this little short haircut, looked good and everything else. Okay, I'm not a short hair guy, but I'm going to put my best foot forward. That Thursday, I went to the gym, and it was you just know sometimes. And I'm going through my workouts, and I was nothing more than 15 pounds, doing a lateral raise. And I do a lateral raise with my shoulder with my left hand, and I go both up, and this one comes straight down, and this one's still up. And I was like, uh-oh. And I know what shoulder pain feels like. I've had it done. Like I said, I've had 4 operations, 2 on each, and I knew I did something. I just didn't know to what extent. And I remember just putting the weights down and exiting the gym stage left and getting in the car as fast as I could and just looking at my shoulder and just bawling and saying, this hurts, something's wrong, I got a week now left, shit.
Coming up next on Angles, Karen Reinman takes the stage to compete.
So that was my first show. Check-in was on a Thursday. It was a huge show. I believe it was over 400 competitors.
And walk it back. 237, I'd like for you to come to point 260, 259. Right here, 259, just slides to your left. No. There we go. Hang in there, right there. Perfect. All right, now everybody just slide down just a little bit to your left. All right. We're getting there.
We didn't go on till maybe 1 in the morning both nights. It was long. We were tired. We were, hungry. We were thirsty. It was the first time I had ever dehydrated like that. And you just have to continue eating. You have to keep your body right. I mean, you have to continue eating every hour on the hour, then trying to figure out what that is, and then you're exhausted. I remember feeling just like, how am I going to go on stage? I'm going to pass out.
And walk it back.
Well, first, one thing you're aware of is how hard your heart is beating. I mean, it's just beating out of your chest, and it's almost like my legs felt quivery going on stage, besides the fact that we are dehydrated and all, but it's nerves. And going out there, you're just trying to think of all the things that you're supposed to do is, the stand up straight, the way you're posing, the sucking it in, the smiling. Even the simple act of smiling is a hard task when you're up there. I remember Felicia Romero one time, because we did a posing class with her, she was saying how your teeth are chattering, and it's true. And then you feel like everybody can see that, which now that I was in the audience and saw it, you can't see it, but then you're like self-conscious and you're trying to, make sure you're smiling right, and just a million thoughts. And a big thing too is not to fall. You don't want to fall. That's a big thing. And make sure you turn them right, and make sure you're sticking your bum out right and everything.
Up next on Angles, Steve Fiore has suffered an injury. Find out what the doctors have to say.
I just said, okay, I just need to get through this. So I cut my hair, and I get injured a couple days later. So the whole Samson thing is true. Samson cut his hair and lost his strength and his power. Well, guess what? So did I. So note to self, anybody out there with long hair, don't cut your hair, nor will I ever again. So it's already starting to grow back. So the next time you see me, I'm going to have my hair back. So, and you just saw that with the hands. So actually, it's getting better. Went through the show, and let's just say didn't do well. Didn't make first call-outs, didn't make second call-outs. Basically, when you don't get called out at the end, you're basically somewhere past 15. I think there was about 30 of us. So again, they call out the first top 15, and then that's all they stop ranking after that. So I kind of knew it. It was one of those things where I was like, okay, this is what I get for listening to everybody else, not listening to my body, and pressing the envelope, and I knew I paid the price. A couple weeks later, I went to the doctors. They went through all the tests. Yep, let's get the MRI as soon as possible, and got the MRI. MRI came back, said I had a torn labrum, and the long head of my bicep was torn. So I knew this would be the worst and longest recovery I had coming up. I tried to schedule the surgery as soon as possible. I said, well, what does this mean? And doctors are kind of like, listen, let's just have the surgery. Let's not worry about time recovery and everything right now. Let's just get in there and really see what's happening, because a lot of the time the MRI doesn't show the full story. And all of 5 days out of my 5th shoulder operation, which turned out to be a pretty big one. Just got out of my first shower in a week. We got 3 holes, it looks like. 2 in the front and 1 way back there. Just met with the doctor and got the follow-up of what actually happened. Looks like we had a complete labrum tear that they reattached, a bicep tenodesis, which I guess in layman's terms is taking the bicep, which I guess goes somewhere up here, the long head, disconnecting it because the labrum was unable to hold it, and reattaching it probably about here, he said, to the humeral head and screwed it back into the bone. The interesting part is what they said is they actually took the bicep out, stretched it, and threaded it into this screw, and then screwed it into the bone. Oh my God, I hope there's a video of that. When your routine is altered, it's tough, and it's been the hardest experience of my life, actually, from going from something you're shooting up the mountain and just shot down that day. And it's the old cliche, you don't know what you got till it's gone. And I look back at pictures now and I'm like, oh my God, that's me. I mean, I wake up now and I'm like, that is me? What the hell was I complaining about?
Up next on Angles.tv, it's time for the judge's decision.
Generally, I train about 2 times a week with Mitch. I train at Urban Garage Gym in Scottsdale. I'll do 2 times a week in my off season, but when it gets closer to competition, I'll bump it up to 3 times a week.
From Gilbert, she's 44 years old, resort sales. She trains at Urban Garage. Her hobbies are hiking, yoga, reading, meditation.
We just couldn't wait to get on stage. It was almost because the first day was so long. We wanted to make sure everything was perfect again and, you know, keep fit the way we were the night before. And then we were, of course, thinking about the T-walk or whatever the walk is. Is that what it's called? The T-walk? I don't remember. It's some kind of walk. So, of course, you're practicing that because you're thinking, now I'm going out solo and I have to practice that. Just excited, just anxious, excited.
She's from Gilbert, number 237, Karen Reinman. I used to work with Karen. Recently divorced. She was back in the day. She went through that cougar phase, you know what I'm saying?
So they went to call the winners.
Fifth place, number 262, Kara Hansen. In 4th place, number 261, Sonia Heck.
Celebrate, don't wait too late.
3rd place, number 264, Kirsten Burson.
And I remember when they got down to 2nd place, just feeling like, oh, okay, so it could, you know, there's a chance it could be me.
2nd place, number 260, Joyce Cervantes. In 1st place, and I believe this is her first time competing, number 237, Karen Reinman. Window or window up.
And when they called my name, it was just, it was pretty unreal. It was, of course, they called my number first, and I forgot my number, but then they called my name, and it was just an amazing feeling. Just the feeling of winning, of going to do my first show and going through all the hell and all the peak week and the 2 14-hour days, and just like, hell yeah, by that time.
From Scottsdale, Arizona, Stephen Fiore.
Yeah, December, pretty much, January, February. It's been a while. It's been tough. That's probably been the toughest part. Is your routine. I'm going to listen to the doctors, but right now the reason why they did it was called a bicep tenodesis. The reason why they relocated the bicep up here is to give that full bicep look. Most of the times they will just disconnect it and let it fall down. It has that little Popeye kind of bicep or arm to it. A lot of pro athletes get it done. Brett Favre has gotten it done where it just disconnects it and it comes back down. It's a lot less painful, and you can go back to working out right away because there's nothing to wait for it to mend into your body, and that's been the process. We chose to go through this painful process and healing process because to get back on stage. If I let that bicep fall down, there'd be no chance, obviously, for being in a sport that you have to be symmetrical to have a tendon that's not attached to where it's supposed to be. So had a great group of doctors that went over and put it in a spot where it's going to give me that full bicep approach, but I have to give it time and let it heal. I'm going to listen to the doctors, and we're going to get through 5 months of painful rehab, of breaking through scar tissue and getting the feel for now where my bicep, my body's completely altered differently now, where I don't know how it's going to feel when I pick something up or push something. So if all goes well, I'm going to keep pushing through this at the ripe old age of 43 now, and finish my 5 months of rehab. And at the end of 5 months, he told me we'll reevaluate and probably take some pictures and look at the MRI and make sure everything's okay. And after 5 months, we'll be able to start going back slowly, taking the 5 pounds and start working your way back. And the goal would be, if I have clearance, to get back on stage in March of 2016 and go to that California show where I finished second, and come back a couple years later and finish first.
On the next Angles Health and Fitness TV, we take you to the NPC Thunderdome to meet 2 new athletes, Red Meckelberg and Woody Hunter.